The stage lights faded, the confetti rained down, and Jamal Roberts stood in the middle of the American Idol stage, gripping the microphone stand as if it were an anchor to reality. The gentle-mannered vocalist from Atlanta, Georgia, had just been awarded the title of champion in the legendary singing competition. He was 24 years old at the time, and this victory would mark a turning point in his life. His voice was full of emotion and technical accuracy, which had captured millions of listeners throughout the course of the season. However, it was his humility and his emotional connection to his family that had made him a household celebrity. The issue on everyone's mind was the following: what would Jamal do next? This question occurred to everyone as the cameras panned over his mother, sister, and grandmother, who were all crying in the crowd. Jamal divulged the first thing that he did with his family following his historic win in an exclusive interview, a modest, sincere gesture that revealed a great deal about his personality. Jamal's path to becoming the winner of American Idol was fraught with difficulties. LaToya, his single mother, reared him and his younger sister, Aisha, in a humble area in Atlanta. In order to support for her children, she worked 2 jobs. Jamal found that music was a means of escape and a method by which he could digest the difficulties he faced in his environment. He began singing in the choir at his church when he was 6 years old. His grandmother, Miss Evelyn, taught him the gospel tunes there that would later go on to influence his unique style of singing. In a post-final interview, Jamal remarked, "Those songs got me through it. They were not simply songs, they were narratives that conveyed themes of optimism, adversity, and belief. That is the exact thing that I submitted for Idol." Jamal's audition for American Idol was a moment that marked a significant change in his life. The judges gave him a standing ovation for his cover of the Stevie Wonder song, "Isn't She Lovely?" and Katy Perry, a pop icon, declared that his voice was one that could heal the world. Every week, Jamal demonstrated his wide range of talents by performing a blend of several genres, including gospel, soul, R&B, and even a startling country ballad. During the semifinals, he performed a duet with Grammy winner Alicia Keys that left the audience in tears, and his original song, "Rise Up, My Love," became an anthem for resilience. Jamal had transformed from a simple contestant into an actual movement by the time that he had reached the final. There was an electrifying atmosphere on the evening of the conclusion. Jamal competed against Mia Chen, a talented performer who came from Seattle. Mia's extensive operatic range competed fiercely with the soulful depth of Jamal. At his last performance, Jamal decided to perform "A Change Is Gonna Come" by Sam Cooke. This song has a strong emotional connection to his own personal tale. Luke Bryan, who was one of the judges, said, "That was more than a performance, it was a testimony," as he dabbed away tears of emotion when the last note was sung. At that point, the audience exploded in applause. Jamal went to his knees, filled with emotion, as the crowd yelled with excitement when the host, Ryan Seacrest, named Jamal as the winner. With the cameras zooming in and the confetti raining down, Jamal's family made their way to the platform as quickly as they could. While Aisha had her arms wrapped around his side and was just glowing with pride, LaToya buried her face in his arms and began to sob. With her characteristic composure as the matriarch, Miss Evelyn stood erect and held back tears as she stated softly, "You did it, baby." The cameras did not capture what transpired after the moment of unadulterated, unplanned bliss. Jamal described the secret, intimate celebration as the real win. Jamal revealed that after the show finished, he had no desire to attend a sophisticated after-party or to give interviews immediately. "I only had a desire to be in the company of my family. We got in the car, and I instructed the driver to take us to our favorite place, Waffle House." Jamal was a newly minted celebrity, and although the decision may seem strange to some, it was the most natural thing in the world for him to make that choice. For the Roberts family, the Waffle House on Peachtree Road was a place of refuge. After church services or late-night study sessions, they would go there and share a laugh over hash browns and milkshakes. "That's the place where we would dream together," Jamal remarked. "We would sit at that booth, talk about life, and I would tell them that one day I was going to make it big. They consistently believed me." The family walked up to the booth in the corner that they always occupied at the Waffle House. the same one they had occupied on a great number of previous occasions. As soon as they went in, the staff, who knew them by name, erupted in cheers. Jamal recounted laughing as they recalled shouting, "Our boy won American Idol." It gave the impression that everyone at the restaurant was a member of the same family. Pecan waffles were a customary order for LaToya. Chocolate chip waffles with an additional serving of whipped cream were what Aisha chose, and Miss Evelyn continued to stick to her classic coffee and grits. After the victory, Jamal, who was still riding a high from the win, treated himself to a double order of hash browns, smothered and covered, as he described it. They spent 2 hours in that same booth, recalling the events of their journey. LaToya described how she prayed every night for Jamal's success, especially at times when he lacked confidence in himself. Aisha made fun of him for his nervous habit of tapping his foot during rehearsals, imitating the rhythm with a fork. Never one to shy away from a chance to tell a story, Miss Evelyn reminisced about the times that Jamal had sang in church, remarking on how, even as a young kid, his voice had the power to quiet the entire assembly. "We didn't discuss anything related to the money, the fame, or what is going to happen next," Jamal stated. "We were just discussing us, our origins, and the experiences that we have had. It seemed as if I was centering myself again in my own identity." The profundity of the moment originated from the way it was so unadorned. At a time when being a star is typically associated with glamour and luxury, Jamal's decision to return to a simple confetti spoke volumes about his origins. He stated, "Being victorious on American Idol is a significant achievement, but it is not more important than family. I felt like myself again at that Waffle House booth, not just Jamal Roberts, winner of American Idol. For those 2 hours, it felt as though the world had come to a standstill and there was nothing in existence but us." There were instances during the night that were just bizarre. Several fans spotted Jamal and requested that he pose for photographs with them, which he enthusiastically agreed to do. By playing his performances on their phones, the employees at Waffle House transformed the restaurant into a spontaneous viewing party for his idol appearances. However, for Jamal, the most memorable experience was a quiet time that he spent with his grandmother. "You are carrying all of us with you now," Miss Evelyn murmured as she clasped my hand. "Don't forget about that. That really affected me. My mother, sister, and community are not the only ones affected by this. I am too." The family devised plans for what the future would hold as the night drew to a close. Jamal intends to create his first album, which will be a fusion of gospel and R&B with a contemporary flair. He is now in discussions with producers, but he is determined to remain faithful to his signature sound. He stated, "I am not pursuing whatever is currently popular at the moment. I want to create music that gives people the feeling of being at home." In addition, he intends to contribute to his community by launching a music program for children in Atlanta. "I want to make sure that they know that they can dream as big as I did," he stated. Jamal had a feeling of tranquility as soon as he left the Waffle House. The love that his family had for him made the burden of the weight of the American Idol crown tolerable, despite the fact that it was substantial. As he pondered, he said, the celebration that night was not in response to a victory. It was in celebration of who we are. Jamal Roberts' first action following his victory on American Idol was not related to fame or wealth. Rather, it was focused on returning to the people and the location that helped shape the person that he is. Surrounded by waffles and love in that corner booth, Jamal discovered the inner fortitude he needed to embark on his new life as America's next major star.